Good evening, everyone. Welcome to your live virtual revisionary classes. I welcome you all. And today we are going to revise chapter number 7, completion and review, by doing a lot of different variety of questions and, of course, seeing how to answer those questions and remembering the important points for the best use of this class. While I am talking and while I'm saying and revising the points, you also say it out loud. आप भी बोल के उसको revise करें. Rather than passively being part of the class with just your phone and lying down, be alert, be active, sit down properly with your screen in your hand, with your book and notebook and pen in your hand, and very actively participate in the class to get maximum benefit out of revisionary classes. So let's get started. I hope you are all doing well, studying well, and revising properly. So let's get started. Just quickly let me know that I am properly audible and visible. Just send me a quick message so that I know that all of you can see me properly and hear me properly. And then we can go ahead. Okay. Okay. All right. So yes, I'm audible, visible. So great. So today the chapter that we are doing is chapter number 7. As you can see, completion and review. So in this chapter, firstly, let me tell you what this chapter is about, and then we'll go in the questions. Okay. The first important thing about this chapter is, yeah. So this chapter covers basic these essays. Okay. Pay attention. The essays covered are 560, 570, 580, 260, 265, and 450. Now, let's do this also in the style of revision. I will tell you an essay name. You tell me from these essay numbers that which essay number it belongs to. Simple game. Okay. So I'm going to tell you the essay name. You tell me which essay number it is. So you know that it will be something from these 6 only. Okay. So your options are these 6 only. So the first is that which one is essay number for written representations? Quickly tell me which one is essay number for written representation. Very good, Pooja. Very good, Julie, sorry. Julie Kumari, Asta Sethi. Very good, absolutely correct. This is written representation. Then tell me which one is essay for communication of internal deficiencies with TCWG. Communication of internal deficiencies. Again, absolutely correct. Julie, Pooja, Astha, all correct. Communication of internal deficiencies with TCWG. Next is which essay number is for evaluation of misstatements? Which essay number is for evaluation of misstatements? 450, 450, 450. Absolutely correct. Evaluation of misstatements. Now tell me which essay number is for going concern? Which essay number is for going concern? Very good. And which essay number is for subsequent events? Which essay number is for subsequent events? 560. Very good. Subsequent events. So what is the last remaining? Communication with TCWG. Yes. So the last one is 260, communication with TCWG. Okay. So if you know this much, we have taken one good step ahead. If you were able to answer all of this, I think 3 students were able to answer all of it correctly. So that is a very good thing. So if you are struggling with that also, that is the first step you have to work on, that you must remember that what essay talks about which thing. So the number and the name. That is very, very important. Okay, so that is first step. Now, when we are revising this, if we have to talk about each of these essays in one sentences, how will I tell you about it? So if someone asks you that what are these essays about, so this is the second stage of knowing something, and when you're revising, that you know that what each essay is in general, what is the summarization of each essay. Okay, so that is the second stage of knowing any chapter. First, you know the basic essay numbers and names. Second stage is you can talk about any essay for at least 1 minute or 2 minutes and explain about it. So if we talk about subsequent events, what does it talk about? It talks about events occurring after the date of balance sheet up until the date of audit report. It talks about whether all the subsequent events have been properly identified, and if any adjustment is to be done or disclosure is to be done, whether the adjustment or disclosure has been properly done or not. The responsibilities of the management and the auditor's job is to ensure that the management has followed all the principles of accounting standards properly, all the disclosure is done properly, or the adjustments are done properly. And the second thing that SA 560 talks about is what happens if you have already made the audit report and you come to know about a subsequent event that has not been properly disclosed later on. So these are the two main things that have been discussed in SA 560. Next, if we talk about essay number 570, going concern, it talks about that going concern is a fundamental accounting assumption that is to be justified by the management. And as an auditor, we have to see if there is any indications that create material uncertainty about going concern. So as an auditor, I have to see whether there are any indications. Those indications can be financial indications like adverse ratios, operating indications like loss of a key supplier, loss of a customer, labor unrest, all that is operating, and other indications like there has been an adverse law by the government, or there has been an adverse litigation that has affected the company. Those are other indications. So going concern mainly talks about that. And second, it talks about that if the company themselves have found some indications, how are they resolving it? Have they created any mitigation plan of action? How have they done a cash forecast? What assumptions they have taken when making those forecasts? An auditor has to check whether those forecasts and the assumptions used are correct or not. The third essay is talking about 580, that is written representation. Written representation is about taking a representation from the management in writing, which mostly is used as a corroborative evidence. So as an auditor, if you want to take any information from the management or a supporting information for an evidence you have already found, you can use written representation as a supporting evidence. It can never be sufficient appropriate audit evidence. Just a written representation is usually not advised for an auditor to rely on if other audit evidences are available. So that is basic about written representation. Let's talk about essay number 260. Communication with TCWG. What does it talk about? It talks about that as an auditor, if I am facing any kind of significant difficulties, if I am facing any kind of significant problems, if the management is not giving me the documents in time, if management is not cooperating, even otherwise, if I want to share my audit plan, I can do all that communication. I can do regular updates with TCWG. I don't have to just communicate with management. But if TCWG and management are separate in an entity, I, as an auditor, have a right to communicate, to go and inform and discuss with TCWG. And SA 260 gives us the guidance on how to do it. SA 265, communication of internal deficiencies. Here it is specifically talking about that as an auditor, I do risk assessment procedure, I do test of control. When I'm doing all these procedures, I may come to know about certain structural or control-based problems that are going in an entity, which may or may not have an effect on my final opinion, but I have come to know about certain deficiencies. Maybe some sales were done without proper approval. Maybe some inventory was was allowed in the godown without proper checking of the goods that have been received from the supplier. So some controls were bypassed, some controls were overlooked, or sometimes control doesn't even exist. So when there are internal deficiencies in the way the company is operating, in the financial system, in the financial reporting system, in the softwares being used, those internal deficiencies can be communicated to TCWG, that is 265. Of course, you can communicate to management also. And essay number 450, evaluation of misstatement, it talks about that when an auditor, after doing test of substantive procedures and doing test of detailed substantive analytical procedures, after doing all of that, when you find misstatements, there are two things that can happen that with that misstatement. Either it becomes a corrected misstatement or it becomes an uncorrected misstatement. Uncorrected misstatements usually happens when I am saying that it is a misstatement, but management is saying no, it's not a misstatement or it's not a material misstatement. And then how you as an auditor deal with that uncorrected misstatement, whether you categorize it as material, whether what explanation the management gives to you for keeping it uncorrected. So that is the part covered by essay 450. Is everyone clear with what this essay is about? All six quickly got revised, okay, for everyone? Okay, so this is like a very summary, quick revision of all the six essays. Now, when we start with the questions, at least you know that what in general are these essays about, okay? So let's get started with the questions. So while we are doing the chapter, I will be referencing this. Okay, this is Saransh released by Board of Studies. So this has all the essays in short. So like each essay is covered in like 2 pages for quick revision if you want to. So whenever we want to see an answer in detail or how the answer is taken up or something extra, we can refer this. But primarily, I'll be referring this questions for you. Okay. So let's see the first question. CA Yash, please along with me think that we are sitting together and हम साथ में पढ़ रहे हैं. Don't think that I am teaching you. When we are doing revision, we are all studying together. Think of me as just the leader of the group who is just taking the lead and doing all the questions with you. Okay. So we are studying together. We are like a study group right now and we are revising and helping each other to become better with the answers. तो साथ साथ में बोलना है, साथ साथ में पढ़ना है, साथ साथ में कोशिश करनी है सोचने की कि क्या आंसर होगा. So have that collaborative kind of spirit. Okay. So CA Yash is conducting audit of a company for the year 23-24. Okay. The company is engaged in the export of ethnic rugs to buyers in Europe. All right. The company is nearing completion in the month, audit is nearing completion in the month of July 24. Okay. So audit कब खत्म हो रहा है? एक line बना देते हैं. Okay. Audit की date. When is audit getting over? July 24. Okay. However, it becomes known to the auditor that one of the overseas buyer has made a legal claim against the company on 1st June 2024 for injury caused to a customer of one European buyer due to substandard dyes used in the rug of one lot of orders shipped in August 2023. See, a lot of dates are there. So when you are writing exam, just make a small timeline so that you don't get getting confused. So legal claim kab hua? When did it happen? Before. So let's say here it happened in June 2024, 1st June, okay? When was it shipped? It was shipped in August 2023. And what was the year? What was the financial year? It was March 2024. Is this timeline clear to everyone? So what have I done? This is the date of audit. This is the date of legal claim. This is the date of financial year. And this is the date of sale. Okay. Which means now tell me, has this event happened? The legal claim happened before the date of audit report? Everyone tell me. Has the event happened before the date of audit report? Yes. Has it happened after the end of the financial year? Financial year के end के बाद हुआ है? Yes. It's in between. So it's an event occurring after the date of balance sheet. So which essay will be applicable? ये किस essay का question है? Which essay question it is? Essay number 560. See, now though we are studying this chapter, so you may think it's so easy. But in exam, the paper is mixed, right? The paper is not divided chapter wise. So in exam, the first, victory is question पढ़ के ये समझ जाना कि ये किस ऐसे का question है. The first victory for you, the first good step is if you can read the question and you can understand what chapter or what essay this question is for. So by reading this much, can you understand this question is for essay 560? Good. One step done. Okay. The management of company has decided to agree on an out of the court settlement of rupees 5 crore to protect its reputation. The financial statements of the company are silent. Prima facie, tell me what is happening. Is it correct? If financial statements are silent on this, is that correct? First tell me this. Is that correct? No. Obviously not. अब ये जो question है, this question does not use just your audit knowledge purely. Does it also use your accounting standard knowledge? It also uses your accounting standard knowledge because you have studied there also that what to do, how to do adjustment and how to do disclosure if events have occurred after the balance sheet date. So, of course, this accounting treatment is absolutely not correct, that financial statements are silent on it. So, discuss how Yash should proceed. So, first mistake that students do. First, you have to identify the correct essay. You have to mention 1 or 2 lines about that essay. And यहाँ पे आपसे judgment, are they just asking you whether the company is correct or not? Is the question writing? Explain if the stand taken by the company is correct. Is that written in the question? Is that written in the question? No. So the crux is not to just give a judgment whether the company is right or wrong. The question is, what will be the audit process? Now do you understand? Question is not demanding that give a judgment whether the company is right or wrong. The question is asking, how should Yash process? How should Yash do? What should Yash do in this situation? So most of the students, what they do, even if they identify, they are mostly focused on proving why the company is wrong. But the question is not about whether the company is right or wrong. The question is, what should Yash do? So you have to write the process actually. So if you see the answer, what does it say? In the given case, so reference to case in question. Okay. You have to give reference. So whenever in question there is a case, you have to refer it. In the given case, auditor has come to know of legal claim against the company before the issue of audit report. Main is this crux. ये हमें पता चल गया. जुलाई में audit खत्म हुआ है. And उससे पहले हमें ये करना चाहिए था. Okay? So claim उससे पहले हो चुका है. It has also come to his knowledge that management has agreed to out of the court settlement. It is an example of subsequent event between the date of financial statements and date of audit report. So what did they do? Identify the essay. Okay? Identify ये किस essay का है. What are the auditor's responsibilities regarding subsequent event between the date of financial statement or audit? First, perform audit procedures designed to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence that all events occurring between date of balance sheet and date of audit report that require adjustment or disclosure have been identified. Firstly, whose job it is to identify all the things? Whose job it is that all the events and all the conditions have been identified? Whose job it is? It is the job of the management, madam. So auditor has to see, no, it is the job of the management to ensure that all events are properly identified and disclosed and proper adjustment has been given if necessary. So auditor has to first see and perform audit procedure to see if there is enough evidence to prove that whether all events have been identified. If it requires adjustment or disclosure, then it is properly reflected. Then obtain a written representation from management that all events occurring subsequent to the date of financial statement for which the applicable financial reporting required adjustment has been adjusted. So what you can do, you can ask for WR, written representation, whether correctly given treatment, and first is whether everything has been identified. So this will be the audit process. As I told you, the question is not asking whether company has done it right or wrong. It's just asking that in SA 560, what will be the responsibilities? Is that clear, everyone? All right. Next question. So we have done one SA 560 question. Let's see what is the next one about. ABC Private Limited, a manufacturing company, is facing significant financial difficulties due to downfall in market and increase in the cost of production. CA Ram, the auditor of ABC Private Limited, has identified the following conditions. The company has defaulted on a major loan repayment. Current liabilities exceed current assets by 50%. What is usually the desired, let's say, current ratio? What is the desired current ratio, students? What is the desired current ratio? 2:1. Is this 2:1? Is this 2:1? No. Okay. So which means, is it negative? Yes, it's wrong. Sales revenue has declined by 30% compared to previous year. Is that a material fluctuation? Yes. Management has not yet performed an assessment of company's ability to continue as, so उन्होंने अपना काम ही नहीं किया. Not yet performed an assessment of company's ability to continue as going concern, but they provided assurance for implementing corrective measures, including cost-cutting initiative and discussion with creditor for restructuring the loan. What additional procedures need to be performed by CA Ram in accordance with SA 570 when such events or conditions are identified? Okay. So what has happened that as an auditor, you have found a few things that are going wrong in the company. Company is saying that we have not made any assessment whether that going concern is not valid, but we are taking measures to reduce this problem. What measures they are taking? They are taking cost cutting. They are doing restructuring. So you know what is happening? This is called as mitigating measures. Mitigating measures. So which additional audit procedures need to be performed by CA Ram in accordance with SA 570 when such events or conditions are identified? Now I'll show you this part, okay? And from this, let's see how to identify the correct answer. So there is this, that how the auditor assessment is performed. All this is okay. These are different conditions. See this. Additional procedures when events or conditions are identified. When you have found that there is some problem, what do you do? And what is the process to be followed and how is the audit report to be evaluated? So if you see this part, here we are only talking about procedures that we need to do as an auditor. So first tell me, are we identifying the going concern assumptions right now? No. We have already found. मतलब आपको वो आंसर लिखना है कि पता चलने के बाद क्या करना है. So अगर आप ओरिजिनल अपनी बुक देखेंगे तो there are two answers. First is that how does an audit, what process he performs to identify. And there is another answer that what procedures he needs to perform if it is already identified what to do next. So this question you have to write down what additional procedures you need to do when it is already identified. Don't get confused. Okay. So what additional procedures? I'll just write down quickly for you so that first you remember what this question is about. So essay number to Essay number is given in the question itself. So you don't have to identify. You already know this is a question for essay number 570. So events and conditions have been already identified. क्या लिखेंगे? Events and conditions. Events and conditions already identified. What to do next? First, we will ask if management has not performed. If management not performed an assessment. If management has not performed an assessment, ask them to do it. What is the first point? If management has not yet performed, so in this case, has management performed the assessment? No. So if management has not performed an assessment, I will give them the information I have. I will ask them, what will be the impact of these situations on the company? Please do the assessment and give me the report. So management will do the assessment. After management does the assessment, they will create future plan of actions by management if it will improve the situation. Plus, is it feasible? इसका मतलब मैनेजमेंट खाली बड़ी बड़ी बातें कर रही है या एक्चुअली में कोई चीज चेंज, उनका जो प्लान है वो फीजिबल है कि नहीं, विच मीन्स इज मैनेजमेंट जस्ट डूइंग बिग बिग टॉक्स और देयर इज एक्चुअली practicality in their plan. So who will check that? Me as an auditor. So what is my job? Will I make the future plan? First tell me this. Is it auditor's job to make a good assessment and make future plans and give it to management? No. I have found indications. I will tell management, you have not done assessment, do it. Give me a future plan. I will check whether your plan will improve the condition of the company. Then how will I check it? The third thing I will do as an auditor, if the entity has prepared, if they have prepared a cash flow forecast, if they have prepared a cash flow forecast, I will check reliability of data. And second is assumptions used are reliable or not. Okay. So what are the things I will check? So if they have given me a cash flow forecast that we will renegotiate with the creditor, they will give us more loan, they will give us more time. So our EMI will reduce, our rate of interest expenses will reduce. Because of this XYZ, cash flow will increase. When our cash flow will increase, we'll do more production. We will be able to push more sales. So they are giving me a plan. I will check that the cash flow forecast that they have created, whether the data that they are using to prepare forecast is reliable and whether the assumptions they have taken are decently supported or not. Okay, this is done. Then what will I do? The fourth thing I will do is, if there is any additional facts or information since assessment was made. So let's say assessment was made on 1st June. Now, by the time the company made assessment, then they made future plan, then they made cash flow forecast. Suppose it is already 25th June. Now, 24 days have passed in between. So is there any additional new information that can help us to update our assessment? And lastly, auditor work is to get written representation from management or TCWG, whoever is appropriate, regarding the plan of action and feasibility. So quickly revise with me. Please बोल के आप भी अपने घर पे please बोल के revise करें. So if events and conditions are already identified, what will the management do? Go to the management. Hey, you have not done the assessment, do the assessment. Then they will give me the assessment and the plan of action. I'll check whether it can actually improve the situation and is it even practical or feasible. If they have given me a cash flow forecast, I will check that what data they have used to make the forecast and whether the assumptions are reliable or not. Then I will see if any additional facts or information have become available since the last assessment was made. And lastly, I'll take a written representation from them, from the management, or if appropriate, TCWG regarding the plan of action and the feasibility. So this is the whole answer. If you'll see the book, this is what is written. So SA 570, going concern deals with auditor's responsibility. If events and conditions have been identified that cast significant doubt on entity's ability to continue as going concern, the auditor shall obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence to determine whether or not a material uncertainty exists. So, including mitigation factors. These procedures shall include where management has not performed an assessment, requesting the management to make assessment, evaluating management's plan for future actions, outcome of the plans, if they will improve the situation and whether plans are feasible. What is the next? Where the entity has prepared a cash flow forecast, the analysis of forecast in a significant manner. So what you have to check, the reliability of underlying data generated and adequate support for the assumptions used. Any additional facts since management made the assessment and written representation. Everyone clear with the answer? Okay, everyone clear? बोल बोल के साथ साथ में रिवाइज करना है. Speak along and revise with me. Keep your book in your hand, okay? Chapter, keep it open in your books. Next question. We are going to the next question now. The management of PQ Limited changed during the period under audit. Okay. During middle of the month, management means earlier the management must be ABC. Now it has become DEF. Okay. Mr. Govind, an auditor, at the time of receiving written representation on management responsibility from management, was in dilemma related to date or periods covered by the written representation. Further, new management was of the view they can give written representation from the date they took over, not for the prior period when older management was managing affairs. Guide the auditor and management in this respect. Now, why is this question a little different from the first two questions? In the first two questions, did you have to draft anything on your own? Did you have to write any sentence on your own? Or was it a straightforward answer, direct answer from book? What was special about the first two questions? Both the questions had structure like a case study, okay? Question number 1 was also written like a case study. And question number 2 was also written like a case study. But did you have to draft your own answer? Did you have to draft your own answer? No. It was the points that were given in the book. Yes or no? But what's special about question number 3 is that there is slight element that there are no points to be written, but explanation to be written. So that is the difference. In the first two, you had to write points that were directly from the book. But in this question, you have to write an explanation and divide it into paragraphs. So the first straightforward thing, you tell me before I show you the answer. So let's say ABC were in management till July 2024. And then DEF took over from August 2024 to March 2025. I am auditor for 24-25 financial year. Now ABC is gone. They are not even part of the company. They have resigned, they have changed, they have been taken over. Something has happened to them. They are all gone. ABC is gone. DEF is saying to me, I will give you written representation for only events or transactions that have happened between August 24 to March 24. But what period am I auditing? I am auditing from April 24 to March 25, right? So if a transaction has happened in April, should I go and find ABC and take written representation from them? First, tell me this. Should I go and find ABC and take written representation from them? Where will I find them? What if they have gone to Andaman and Nicobar Island and enjoying their retirement life? Will I tell them, please come and give me your written representation? Forget vacation? No. They will say, even if we give you, what are we? What role do we have in the company? Do they have any role in the company now? No. Can they even sign as a director? No. They are nothing in the company. So, first tell me, is the new management, what new management is saying, is that correct? What the new management is saying, is that correct? Absolutely not. The written representation is to be given for the whole period. So even if old management, new management was not there, they are the ones responsible for this financial year. Yes or no? So when P&L is made, will they divide the P&L from April to June 2025 and July 25 and then August 2024 to March 25? Will they divide the P&L like this? Can they divide the P&L? No. So if P&L will have only 24-25 sales, whether the sale has happened in June or whether the sale has happened in January, it is all together. And who is responsible for the preparation of the financial statement? The current management. So hence, the management will be fully responsible. But now the point is, how do you express this as a 3-mark or a 4-mark question in exam? So that is why I said that why this answer is special, because it does not use some direct point like, point number 1, point number 2, point number 3, not like that, but it uses more writing skills. So in this kind of question, we need more writing practice. You should be able to articulate your thoughts. You should be able to write properly. Your grammar should be good. Your auditing language should be good. So that becomes important. So solution, essay 580, very simple. This we all know. So here it was the essay number mentioned in the question? No. So you had to understand and find on your own that this is essay number 580 question. Okay. So this is one victory. So as per essay 580, written representations, the date of written representation shall be as near and practical, but not after the date of audit report. The written representation shall be for all financial statements and for all period referred in the audit report. Furthermore, because the auditor is concerned with events occurring up to the date of auditor's report that may require adjustment or disclosure, the written representation are dated as practical or as near to the date of audit report. Again, this point is explained. The written representation are for all periods referred in auditor's report, because management needs to reaffirm that the written representation it previously made with respect to prior periods still remain appropriate. Situations may arise where current management was not present during all periods referred in audit report. Such people may assert that they are not in a position to provide all or some of the written representations because they were not in place during the period. This, in fact, does not diminish such persons' responsibilities for financial statement as a whole. Accordingly, the requirement for the auditor is to request from them that the financial written representation should cover the whole of the period. In view of the above, management is required to provide the written representation for all periods, even when current management was not present. So, where is the skill in this kind of answer? So, what you remember it like this. First, I have to mention that which essay it belongs to. What should be covered in written representation? It should cover all financial statement things and all periods, which means it should be as close to the audit report as possible. And it should cover all the periods that were referenced in the financial statement. So if in financial statement, there is a legal case that happened 7 years back in the company, but the outcome of which was given in current year, that will be part of the current year financial statement. So it should have all the periods. So written representation is required for all periods covered. If the management was not present, it does not diminish their responsibility. Remember the word. So here is where I see that students make a little mistake of using very casual language. You will say something like management cannot stop like this auditor, or management cannot say no to the auditor. Management is very wrong. So when you use this very casual, non-professional way of writing answers, that is not correct. Okay. So when we write our audit paper, it is not just being tested that whether you can memorize the essay, but also can you think like a chartered accountant? Can you write like a chartered accountant? Is your way of talking and way of writing professional like a chartered accountant? So that is also equally important, that you find the right words. So does not diminish the responsibility of the person. So use this kind of words. Everyone clear? Any doubt till now? Any doubt in this question? No? Okay, good. Let's move on to the next question. Question 4. CA Ritu is conducting the statutory audit of KLM Limited. Okay. During the audit, she encountered significant difficulties in obtaining certain information from company's finance team. She also noted, so she obtained significant difficulties. Do you remember when I was revising all the essays quickly? Okay, I told when you face problems, you can talk. So which essay do you think is applicable? Essay 260, okay? Here itself, significant difficulties, essay 260. Significant deficiencies in internal control, which essay? 265, okay? So she encountered significant difficulties in obtaining certain information from company's finance team. She also noted that one of the accounting practices, although acceptable under AFRF, may not be most appropriate considering the company's circumstance. With reference to Essay 260, what significant findings from the audit should an auditor communicate with TCWG? Now you tell me, identify the question. ये ड्राफ्टिंग स्किल वाला क्वेश्चन है या इसका आंसर डायरेक्टली बुक में है पूरा एज इट इज? You have to draft this like question number 3, or is it a direct question from a point in the book? Quickly tell me that. Is it a drafting question? Do you have to think on your own and write significant findings, or does the book already has a list of significant findings that you can discuss with TCWG? Tell me, is it a direct question or a drafting question? It's available in the book. It's a direct question. If you can remember this much, so the third skill, अभी तक मैंने आपको 2 skill बताई है. The third skill that is needed when you attempt questions in exam is identify that whether this question is for which answer. ये question कौन सा आंसर डिमांड कर रहा है? कई बार ऐसा होता है, sometimes it happens that students have come out of the exam hall and they are thinking that I didn't know this question, and then they see the book and they know, arey, this answer to I knew, but you could not connect the question with the answer, right? So the next important skill is, can you connect question with answers? So you may know the answers, आपको आंसर आता है, आपको वो आंसर अच्छे से रटा हुआ है, अच्छे से लर्न हुआ है, बट अगर उसको थोड़ा ट्विस्टेड क्वेश्चन में पूछा जाए, अगर उसको थोड़ा सा ट्विस्ट करके पूछा जाए, तो क्या आप समझ पाते हो कि इस क्वेश्चन में उसी आंसर की बात हो रही है जो आपको अच्छे से आता है? एंड दैट एक्चुअली really gives a lot of pain to students कि उनको आंसर तो पूरा आता था, बट वो क्वेश्चन को इंटरप्रेट करके ये नहीं समझ पाए कि इसमें ये आंसर लिखना था. That will really hurt you if that happens, because you knew the answer fully, but you didn't connect that this question needed that answer. So the next important skill for which, because of which you need to do practice of such things, is so that you can connect the question with the answer. So this is a direct question from the book. बिल्कुल ही problematic नहीं है, एकदम straightforward है. Okay. What does it say? Essay 260, communication with TCWG. Significant findings from the audit, which you can communicate. So actually one of the most important things, this is very, very, very important. So usually students think that हम TCWG के पास सिर्फ शिकायतें लेकर जा सकते हैं. Okay, we can only go to TCWG if we are facing some problem in the company, management is not responding, we have found some fraud, we have found some deficiency. सिर्फ problem लेकर जा सकते हैं, ऐसा नहीं है. You can also take an observation with them. What does it mean? Let's say that company has used a certain way of depreciation, or they have used a certain way of valuation of stock. But according to you, there is another method that is actually better than doing the accounting policy or practice that you have taken. So you can even go and discuss. So now what happens? There is a clash of judgment. यहाँ पे कोई legal clash नहीं हो रहा. यहाँ पे आपको कोई misstatement नहीं मिली है, आपको कोई fraud नहीं मिला है company का. You have just found some clash of judgment that is happening. So in that case, it becomes very important that you should know that the significant findings that you're taking to TCWG is not always a complaint about the management. It can also be something that you want to sit and discuss with TCWG. So one of the most important points is you can discuss qualitative aspects. Please don't miss this word. You can discuss qualitative aspects regarding entities, accounting practices, policies, estimates, and disclosures. When applicable, the auditor shall explain to TCWG why the auditor considers a significant accounting practice that is acceptable also not to be appropriate. Which means I can tell them that whatever you are doing is correct only as per your applicable financial reporting framework, as per all the standards, as per all the law, it is correct. But in your situation, I feel that another type of doing the work, on another way of doing the gratuity calculation, or another way of doing staff welfare calculation will be different, and it will be better for your company. So if I want to do this kind of discussion, I can go to TCWG. So this is one of the significant findings that I can communicate. Rest, you can communicate any kind of difficulties. Any difficulty it can be whether if they are not giving you papers on time, if they are not allowing you to talk to the internal auditor, they are not allowing you to talk to a production department. So if they're not allowing you to talk to someone, all these are significant difficulties. Unless all TCWG are involved with managing, you can discuss any significant matter that is arising during audit that were discussed or subjected to correspondence, which means you can also go and discuss with them anything that you have already discussed with management. So if you feel that the company is having very adverse current ratio, can you go and discuss with TCWG also? Yes, you can do that. You can also ask for written representation from the TCWG. So that also you can go. Then circumstances that can affect the form and content of auditor's report. So let's say that in my report, there is a format of writing, like let's say 12 important things in tabular format. But I feel I want to write on one extra thing. So I can give you a small example. So usually in concurrent audit report of banks, okay. So there was one of the things that we had to give comment on a lot of things, like whether stock statement is received on time or not, whether all the KYC is collected or not, whether rate of interest is correctly charged or not. But there was once that we saw that there is no question, there is nothing in the audit report to comment on whether the geotagged photos of inspection by the bank officer is there or not. So there was no question about it. So if I want to go and talk to the bank manager that please add this question in the software, that whether geotagged photo for inspection of the machinery is attached or not. So like this, if you feel that you want to change the form and content of auditor's report, that also you can suggest and discuss with the TCWG and any other significant matters. Okay, so what are the significant findings? You can discuss significant qualitative aspects regarding accounting practices. You can discuss significant difficulties. You can discuss significant matters. See, remember, like this, you remember, significant चीजें discuss करेंगे ना? It's significant findings. So significant things we'll discuss. Significant qualitative aspects. Significant qualitative aspects. Significant difficulties. Significant matters. Any other matters. And changes, significant changes in form and content of audit report. I know handwriting is because I'm trying to write as fast as I am speaking, and we are doing only revision. So that's why my handwriting might not be very slow and proper. But this is just to do a quick revision. So what significant things? Significant qualitative aspects, significant difficulties, significant matters, any other matters, and significant changes in form and content of audit report. Can you remember this answer fully? Do you think it's possible to remember this answer? Very much possible. You can get full marks, okay? If you write it properly, there is no problem in getting full marks in audit, okay? If you write properly, you'll get full marks. So question number 4 is done. So significant findings, remember, significant qualitative aspects, significant difficulties, significant matters, any other matters, and significant changes in form and content. Easy, done, no problem. Question number 5 पे आ जाइए. Come on, question number 5 with me, of course. So question number 5 is, CA Sandeep has identified certain misstatements during the course of audit of an entity. Except 2 misstatements, all were corrected. So how many uncorrected misstatements are there, students? How many uncorrected misstatements? 2 are uncorrected misstatements. Rest everything is corrected. He wants to obtain written representation from management regarding the effects of these uncorrected misstatements. Describe the matter that can be contained in such written representation. Also discuss documentation requirements regarding misstatements identified during the course of audit in accordance with relevant essays. Okay. Now tell me this, that if an auditor is sort of mentioning and creating this describe matter contained in this. So if I'm asking for written representation regarding the effects, what can I do? I can ask them effects individually. Remember, effects individually or and in aggregate. Okay. So first thing I'll ask them, okay, you are not ready to correct these 2 misstatements. Can I go and change in the financial statements? मैं जाके accounts change कर सकती हूँ? No. I can only point them that this misstatement exists. I can't go and change the accounts. So if they are not correcting those 2 things, I will ask them, okay, I have found these 2 misstatements. You are not agreeing to change it. So tell me, according to you, what are the effects of these misstatements, uncorrected misstatements? Individually, which means at individual assertion level, and in aggregate, which means financial statement as a whole. And in written representation, there should also be a detailed summary should be there, that what it is about, what was the discussion, there should be a proper detail about it. Okay. So all these things need to be given. As an auditor, what documentation you need to do regarding misstatements? Did it write material misstatements? No. It is saying what all do you need to document regarding misstatements you have identified. So if I am an auditor, I have found 15 misstatements. What is the first thing I'll do? Let me see how many of you can answer. I have found 15 misstatements. What is the first thing I will do about those misstatements? First thing, first step. I have found 15 misstatements. What is the first step? Let me see if you can think like an auditor. Misstatements मिल गई है, 15 misstatement लाकर दिए मेरे staff ने. 15 misstatements have been given by the management. All is discussed. Misstatements are there. Misstatements is definitely existing. You know what I'll do first? My staff has come to me. Is this material? This though is not important. Leave it. Julie, this is not needed. Remove it. Asta, this is very important. Let's discuss this further. So what is the first thing we are doing? Amount below which misstatement is clearly trivial and not important. Then I have to document all misstatements accumulated and whether they have been corrected. And what is auditor's conclusion regarding uncorrected misstatements and the basis for that conclusion. So what are the three things we need to document regarding misstatements identified as per SA 450? So SA 450 says regarding specific misstatements, divide them into three areas. First, trivial. Second, corrected. Third, uncorrected. So remember like this. What documentation I have to do? Which one is trivial? Which one is material? How many were corrected? And how many were remain uncorrected? Why they remain uncorrected? Is that clear? Can you remember this easily? Okay. Can you remember this easily? Yes. So in the given case, all except two misstatements have been corrected by management. The auditor shall request a written presentation from management and where appropriate TCWG, whether they believe the effects of uncorrected misstatements are immaterial individually and in aggregate. A summary of such items should also be included and attached to the written presentation. Okay. Question 5 is also done. So this is partially drafting and partially points. Okay. Let's go to question number 6. Let's go to question number 6. C.A. Sumit has been appointed as statutory auditor of Core Limited. List out some matters that he may consider in determining whether a deficiency or a combination of deficiencies in internal control constitute as a significant deficiency. Which essay number question is this? Which essay number question is this? Quickly tell me. Which essay number this question belongs to? Very good. Essay 265. Correct, Julie. Correct, Astha. Correct, Pooja. Essay 265 question. Second, tell me, is this a direct question or an explanatory question? Is this a direct question or an explanatory question? Absolutely direct question. Okay. So which means if you have learned and revised your book properly, can you write this answer from the book and get full marks? Absolutely you can. Plus it's point wise. It's not an explanation paragraph question, which means there are individual one sentence points. Okay, let's see. Again, this is examples. So examples are there. Let's say the examples are around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. 8 examples are there. So if the question is for 3 marks, 2 marks, you can write at least 5 to 6 points. Okay. Write at least 5 to 6 points. 3 marks question is there, does not mean you will write exactly 3 points and stop. So if it is a 3 mark question, still write 5 to 6 points. Okay. So examples of matter that the auditor may consider in determining whether a deficiency or a combination of deficiency constitutes a significant deficiency. So, अगर internal control में कोई कमी है, which means deficiency in internal control, when can it become significant? When it can lead to misstatement. So any deficiency that can lead to misstatement, is that a significant deficiency? I'll give you one small example. Suppose the internal control has this deficiency that the GST rate, if it gets changed by the government, it takes at least 2 weeks for the software to update. Is that a deficiency? Tell me. Is that a deficiency that the GST rate it gets updated in the software after 2 weeks? Which means for 2 weeks, whatever sales and purchase you do, that was for wrong GST. You collected wrong GST. Your GST has become wrong. Your input credit has become wrong. Everything has become wrong. So is that a significant deficiency? Yes. So any deficiency that can lead to misstatements is a significant deficiency. Then any deficiency that can lead to loss or fraud of the asset or liability. Is that a significant deficiency? Yes. Okay. So if in banks, loan is given to someone without doing, let's say, without having their KYC and application form, do you think it can lead to fraud? Do you think it can lead to fraud? If someone is given loan without having an application and their KYC attached with it, do you think it can lead to fraud? Yes. Why? Because we don't know that the person you are giving loan to is the correct person, whether they want the loan, and later on they may claim that I never applied for loan, bank gave me zabardasti. Okay, I didn't want the loan. So it can lead to loss for the bank, right? So if any deficiency is causing a possibility, susceptibility means possibility of loss or fraud. Is that a significant deficiency? Yes. So anything that can lead to misstatements is a deficiency, that is a significant deficiency. Any deficiency that can lead to fraud or loss is a significant deficiency. Anything that can cause, anything that is causing complexity in estimated amounts such as fair value account estimates. So if the company is deficient in doing their estimation work, if the estimates, let's say of gratuity, or if it's a company and they want to understand the coal mine reserve or the petroleum reserve, so they are doing estimates. So do you think if there is a deficiency there, can it become a significant deficiency? Yes. So if the company did not have enough means for the accounting estimates, that can become prone to significant deficiencies. Then examples of the financial statement amounts exposed to the deficiencies. So let's say that whenever the manager is on leave, he leaves his computer on and keeps his password openly available for everyone. Do you think that this deficiency can lead to financial statement problems? Do you think if the manager is leaving the computer on with their password and ID and their digital signature available on the desk for anyone to use, do you think this deficiency exposes financial statement amounts to become problematic? Yes. So any deficiency that exposes risk to financial statements, that is a significant deficiency. Let's say if the company is not using proper antivirus software, can lack of an antivirus software create deficiency? Can it affect the financial statements of the company? Yes, because if there is any virus that attacks, it can create problem to the what? Financial statements. See, is it my job to check whether, if I'm an auditor who wants to give opinion on financial statements, अगर antivirus software नहीं है company के पास, तो is it reported in the audit report somewhere? If the company does not have antivirus software, no. But if I'm checking a company and I come to know that they do not use antivirus software, and because of that, once 2 years back, they lost some data, but they recovered, but they lost some data. But will I go and communicate that to TCWG? See, this is the problem in your company. This deficiency can create a very large problem, because of which even financial statements may become wrong. Hence, it is my job to tell you that this is a significant deficiency. Okay. So we are talking about deficiencies in any internal control area. So any deficiency that can cause issue with financial statement amounts. Then next thing that can have significant deficiency when volume of activity that has occurred or could occur in account balance exposed to the deficiency. Where is significant deficiency? So if any activity, so if there is a GST problem, which means it will not just affect sales, it will affect purchases, it will affect input tax credit, it will affect cash balance, it will affect bank balance. So if there was any exposed deficiency where all the activity has occurred or could occur, which can create problem. Let's say if you are in a bank, okay? Does everyone know about repo rate and bank BRLLR base rate that is released by RBI? Does everyone know that? Yes, ma'am. Okay. Yes. Do you know that it fluctuates frequently? 2, 3 times in a year, 4 times in a year, sometimes more, sometimes less, it can fluctuate? Yes. Okay, good. If that fluctuates, accordingly, will your ROI on savings account and your ROI on home loan education, will that also change? If the RBI reduces it, if the RBI increases it, ours also changes. Okay. Let's say you come to know that the bank changed the rate after 1 month. Can you imagine that how many lakhs and crores of accounts will be affected? Yes or no? So bank did a mistake of 0.05%. Okay. They made a mistake that they did not calculate the amount and there was wrong input of 0.05%. Can this become significant because of the volume? Can this become significant because of the volume? So even if a small branch has 2 lakh customers, can it affect and become significant? Yes. So even if the deficiency is not significant, if it is exposed to a large volume, can it become significant? Even if deficiency was very small, but because it is exposed to a large volume, does it become significant deficiency? Yes. So on the basis of volume also, a deficiency can become significant deficiency. Okay. Then these are another examples. I'll just go through it quickly. Importance of controls to financial reporting means proper monitoring controls, controls over prevention and detection of fraud, selection of accounting policies, transactions with related parties, transactions outside the entity's normal course of business, control over period end. All these are significant. Okay, so all these controls are significant, which means any problem in them will be significant deficiency. Because these controls are significant, it means any lack in this control will create a significant deficiency. Okay. The cause and frequency of exceptions detected as a result of deficiency in control. So there is something called as exception report. How many of you know the word MIS? MIS. Management Information Software. Okay. So when companies are running on big softwares like ERP softwares and they have crores of transactions happening each day, banks may use Finacle, they have various other things, they use Oracle. So they use many different softwares, companies use many different types of ERP. So it is not physically possible for someone to know what all transactions have happened during the day. So these softwares create a report called as exception report. Exception report means if it's a bank, it will give report that how many checks bounced today or how many people deposited cash more than 1 lakh rupees today or how many advances failed with EMI today or in how many advances we gave amount more over and above their DP, the drawing power. Okay. So like that a report comes. So if there is if the exception reports are very long, does it mean there is significant deficiency? If every day the exception reports are very large and the frequency of exceptions are very, very long, it means it is a significant deficiency. And interaction of deficiency with other deficiencies, which means it's a significant deficiency. So I understand this is a little difficult to remember answer, but just remember that what according to you, if you are an auditor and if you are checking the internal controls, What for you will be deficiency? Anything that can cause misstatements, anything that can cause fraud, anything that is related to any estimates. It's always more complicated. It always has more possibility of deficiency. Anything that causes financial statements to be exposed to any misstatements, anything that has a high volume can be subjected to significant deficiency. So all these points, please remember. Okay. So this answer comes in a little difficult category, but if you can try to remember at least 5 to 6 points, that will really help you. Next question. During the audit of Crist Limited, for the financial year ended 31st March 2025, the auditor CAZ was in the process of finalizing the audit report dated 30th May 2025. Okay. The engagement partner emphasized that CAZ shall perform audit procedure designed to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence that all events occurring between the date of financial statements and date of audit report that requires adjustment or disclosure should have been identified. What audit procedure in accordance with SA 560 should the CAZ perform based on risk assessment to identify events between the date? So if the auditor's job is to see and find that what यहाँ पे भी कुछ हुआ नहीं है, do we know if anything has happened? No. We have just started to do the work in the company. Okay. So we are just seeing that सब कुछ identify हो गया है कि नहीं, whether everything that requires has been identified or not. So how do we check whether everything is identified or not? Now this answer will come. How does auditor take into account the risk assessment determining? You have to obtain an understanding of procedures that are done by the management, whether how they identify. You have to talk to the management and TCWG, whether any subsequent events have occurred. You can read minutes of the meeting that have been held after the date of financial statements and inquiring, and reading the entity's latest subsequent interim financial statements. Okay, so what is the question demanding here? Question is saying you have just started this work. Now I have to identify, I have to see whether everything that requires to be identified has been identified. It is not asking you audit procedures to do the whole SA 560. No, they're just asking that if I have to check whether everything has been identified. It is not talking about whether adjustment is done, disclosure is done, properly accounting treatment is done. Is it talking about that right now? No. The question is asking, I want to check whether everything has been identified. What procedures I can perform to know that everything has been identified? I can first ask the management, what procedures you perform. Then I can talk to them that what all have you identified. I can read their minutes book to see what all they have discussed. And I can review the interim financial statements to see that what events have occurred after the balance sheet. Is everyone clear? So what is the trick in SA 560? Did you observe? When I taught you question number 1, what did it talk about? It talked about something has already happened. Something has already happened. And you know that it has happened. Then for that particular thing, what do we do? What is the general audit procedure? So here we wrote general audit procedure that obtain evidence that whether everything has been identified, everything adjustment and disclosure has been given, and written representation. The next question is, how do you check whether everything is identified? Now do you understand the difference? Here you can make mistake. Both answers are very easy. But कौन से question में कौन सा answer लिखना है? Sometimes students here in question number 1 can write about minutes of the meeting, inquiring with management. Then your answer will become wrong. Do you understand the trick? यहाँ पे answer मुश्किल नहीं है. The answer is not difficult. The difficult and the tricky part is how to connect that question is asking for which answer. So in this, it is not asking how to identify, it is asking for general audit process. And in this question, it is asking that how to identify, for identification, what process we'll do, which means at first stage, which process we'll do. Okay, don't make this mistake. You should not make this mistake in exam if it comes. Okay, be clear कब कौन सा आंसर लिखना है. So based on this, auditor wants to see whether everything has been identified. So audit procedures related to events occurring between the date of financial statements and date of audit report. यहाँ पे already essay number is given. So you already know which essay number it belongs to. Okay, you already know that. So audit procedures relating to events occurring between the date of financial statement and date of audit report. Here you can explain a bit. Auditor shall perform audit procedures designed to occur between that. The auditor is not, however, expected to perform additional audit procedures on which previously applied audit procedures have already given satisfactory conclusion. They should cover all the period as near to the audit report date. So this is like a general introductory paragraph. And then you can come to this answer. Okay, finished. Next. On reviewing the internal control over inventories as part of statutory audit, internal control over inventories, the auditor finds that physical verification is not being conducted at regular intervals as stipulated by management. The auditor finds it to be a significant deficiency in internal control. He points it out to management in just one line. Physical verification is not being conducted. Is this communication proper? Is this communication proper? There's a direct explanation for this in the book. So is this communication proper? Can I just write one line and give them? No. So whenever you have found some deficiency, you don't just write that deficiency and give them. You also have to explain that deficiency. You have to explain the effects, the potential effects of that information deficiency, and you have to give enough sufficient information to TCWG and management to understand the context in which you are raising this point. So no, the one-liner given by the auditor is incorrect. So here, is it asking me to give the judgment? In this question, am I being asked whether to give the judgment or not? Yes. So when I'm writing answer, do I have to give whether it is proper or not? Yes, I have to specifically write whether what is done by the entity is proper, auditor is proper or not. So you tell me, is this proper? What is done by auditor, is it proper? No, it's not proper. So you have to prove that why it is not proper. So as per SA 265, communicating deficiencies in internal control to TCWG and management. While pointing out deficiency, auditor has not only to communicate the deficiency, giving their description, explain the potential effects, give sufficient information to TCWG and management to understand the context. In the given situation, auditor noticed significant deficiencies over inventory and he pointed out the same, this. So this gives you base. This gives you what happened and what should happen. So therefore, the above communication is not proper. Not only significant deficiency has to be communicated, it should also be explained with potential effects of not carrying out of physical inventory at regular intervals. It should explain that such a significant deficiency can lead to misstatement of inventories impacting profits. Highlighting the importance of such control, it should be stated that responsibility should be fixed for concerned persons for adhering to important control. Clear, everyone? Any doubt till now? Any doubt till now? Quickly tell me. No, okay. No. All right. We'll take a 10 minutes break here and be back by 7:30 and continue. Okay. Technical Ashokji, 10 minutes break now. Okay. I hope you can all hear me, see me, and we have completed a lot of variety of different questions. We'll continue now. Give 5 examples of operating event or conditions that individually or collectively may cast significant doubt on entity's ability to continue as going concern. So if you know that going concern can be affected by 3 main things: financial conditions, operating conditions, and other conditions. Tell me adverse financial ratios. Which kind of condition it is out of the 3? Which condition it is? It is a financial condition. Correct. So then what is operating? Operating means something that can affect smooth functioning of the company. What can affect smooth functioning? You lost your buyer. You lost your supplier. Okay. You lost some major customer, or some major director or key management personnel left the company and you can't find any replacement. The laborers are on strike. So can all these things affect the way company works? Yes. So those are called as operating events and conditions. So you have to give any 5 examples. You have quite a list in your book. You can give any 5 examples. So of course, you have to first mention which essay this is from. This is from essay 570. You have to write in your exam and you just have to give the list. So it's a very easy question. Management's intention to liquidate or cease operation, that is an operating indication. Loss of key management without replacement. Loss of a major market, key customer, franchisee, license, supplier. All these can affect your operations. Labor difficulties, shortage of any kind of supplies. Okay. So that can cause, going concern. Emergence of a very successful competitor. So you are running a local business, but now let's say Swiggy or Zomato has come in the picture. Let's say you are running a local taxi company, which is working very well, but now Ola and Uber, with their big budgets and millions of money, they can give free rides to people. They can do advertisement. They can find brand ambassadors. So they can take away your job. So emergence of a highly successful competitor. So you can write any 5 examples in exam. Very easy, very easy to score. So this is done. Next, come to question number 10. Question number 10. GEM Limited has appointed GSP Company Chartered Accountants as its statutory auditor. While conducting its audit, the audit partner requested the management to provide a written representation that it has fulfilled the responsibility for preparation of financial statement as per AFRF. The management is of the view that since all the records and evidence have already been given, a separate written representation is not required. First, quickly tell me which essay this question is for. कौन से essay का question है ये? First, identify that. Which essay this question is for? Essay number 580. Good. Second, is this point by management correct, that if we have given you all records, you can't ask for written representation from us? For second, tell me, is this point correct? No. Third, even if auditor has checked everything, can they still ask separately? Even if it's written in the contract, even if it's written in engagement letter, can I still ask for it separately? Yes. If the management has changed in between, can I ask the new management to also give me separately the responsibility for preparation? Yes. So in any situation, it favors us as auditor that we can ask in essay 580 for them to give us in writing that it is their responsibility. So many auditors in the engagement letter itself, they mention this and take it in writing from the management. Okay. So come to the answer. It's not going to be very problematic. See this. In the given case, GSP and company auditor requested the management to provide written representation that it has fulfilled the responsibility. So here you are writing case given. So whatever is given, you are repeating that part only. Okay. So management is of the view that since all records are available, separate is not required. View of the manager is not correct because written representation about financial responsibility are necessary. The audit evidence obtained during audit that management has fulfilled responsibility and about information provided and completeness is not sufficient without obtaining confirmation from management because they should also believe that they have fulfilled the responsibility. This is because auditor is not able to judge only on the basis of audit evidence that management has done their job properly. So that is why they need to give me in writing that they actually believe that they have done their job well. If any litigation happens later on, if any case happens later on, we can show that management knew and management told me they understand responsibility. Now they cannot say we didn't know. Okay. Next. For example, the auditor could not conclude that management has provided the auditor with all information that is agreed in terms of audit engagement without asking it whether and receiving confirmation that such information has been provided. The written representation requiring fulfillment of management responsibilities in relation to above on the agreed acknowledgement and understanding of management in its responsibilities in the terms of audit engagement by requesting confirmation that it has fulfilled them. This is again seems like a big point. You don't have to memorize this. You just have to mention that auditor cannot know. Auditor needs to get all the information from the management, and that's why they have to tell and they have to acknowledge the responsibility that we have given all information. Okay, so this you don't have to memorize. You can write in simple 1 or 2 sentence also. The auditor may ask the management to reconfirm its acknowledgement and understanding. This is particularly appropriate when those who signed the terms of audit engagement are no longer having relevant responsibility, which means management has changed. That time this is very, very important. The terms of audit engagement were prepared last year. So in current year, again take this written representation. There's an indication that management misunderstands their responsibility. Every time I talk to them, no, this is not our responsibility. No, that is not our responsibility. Take in writing. And change in any circumstances. So there was any change in law, change in new accounting standard, or change in income tax law, or change in Companies Act. So because of some changes, you need to retake the acknowledgement. So in any of these situations, you can ask them to give you a separate written representation, even if it was there in the engagement letter, even if you have taken it previously. So these examples you can give. This you can shorten to just 1 or 2, but these examples you can give it the question, because otherwise it will be just a 2-mark answer. So to make it like a 4-mark answer, you need to give some examples. Next. What do you mean by deficiency in internal control or significant deficiency? So here you have to give definitions. So this is a straightforward. This is for 2 marks. This is for 2 marks. Okay, so total 4 marks. The answer will be very short, but if you remember the definition, you can get full marks. So deficiency in internal control. First, you have to mention the essay number as usual. You have to mention the full communicating deficiency in internal control to TCWG and management. What does it mean? Deficiency in internal control. This exists when a control is designed, implemented, operated in such a way that it is unable to prevent, detect, and correct misstatements on timely basis. If you remember, this is the same definition for control risk. Okay. So control risk also means that the internal control is not able to prevent, detect, and correct misstatements on timely basis. That you have studied in chapter number 3. So control risk, same thing you have to write here. A control necessary to prevent, detect, or correct is missing. So deficiency means 2 things. Okay. Let me give you an example. Let's say that to run the class smoothly, I have a backup inverter so that if the power goes away, my inverter can keep this computer running. Okay. Is that an internal control? Quickly tell me. Is that an internal control? Yes. Now that UPS is 10 years old, so the battery backup is only for half an hour. Is that a deficiency? Is that a deficiency? Yes. What if the power is gone for 1 hour? Then what will happen for the class? So that is a deficiency. What does it mean? It's unable to do its job. But what if UPS is not there only? What if inverter is not there? That means the control is missing. Is that clear? एक तो कंट्रोल है बट वो अपना काम नहीं कर पा रहा, या तो कंट्रोल है ही नहीं, दोनों ही चीज को डेफिशिएंसी बोला जाता है. Existence of a control, but the control is not able to do its job, and the control itself is missing. Both things are known as deficiency. Is that clear? That is the definition. Very easy. Okay. What is deficiency? Control exists, but it is unable to do its job of preventing, detecting, and correcting. Second is control is missing, which means it's not able to prevent, detect, or correct. Okay. So please remember this definition. It's very easy, 2 marks if you make little effort. Conceptually, if you try to remember, very easy. Significant deficiency in internal control. A deficiency or combination of deficiencies in internal control that in auditor's professional judgment is of sufficient importance to merit attention of TCWG. Is it using the word misstatement? Kya misstatement, significant deficiency means it is having material misstatement. Is it writing those words? The significant so right now, if I don't have any UPS, it's a significant deficiency, yes. But despite having that deficiency, it may happen that luckily the power did not go in any of my classes, so none of my classes got disrupted. Is it possible? कि एक significant deficiency है, but इसका impact पड़ा मेरे classes पे? There's a significant deficiency that there is no inverter, but did it affect my classes? No. So it may happen that company also has a significant deficiency, but it may or may not have become a misstatement. Is that clear to everyone? Company may have a significant deficiency. Let's say company has an inventory go down and they don't have a night watchman. Is that a significant deficiency? Is that a significant deficiency? Yes. Or the company does not have working CCTV cameras in their inventory go down. Is that a deficiency? Yes. But no theft happened during the year. So, did anything wrong happen? No. But is it still a deficiency? Yes. So, yahan pe we will not use the word that anything that can cause material misstatement. No. We will use the word significant deficiency means any deficiency or combination of deficiencies that as per auditor's judgment is important enough to bring to the attention of TCWG. जो चीज इतनी इंपॉर्टेंट है कि TCWG को बताना जरूरी है, उसको significant deficiency बोलते हैं. Okay? The significance of deficiency is not dependent on only whether misstatement has actually occurred, but on the likelihood of misstatement. See, very important. Significance of a deficiency is not on the basis कि misstatement हुआ है कि नहीं, but अगर misstatement हुआ तो कितना बड़ा होगा इस deficiency के वजह से. It is not about whether misstatement has happened, but if it happens, then because of this deficiency, it will be a very significant misstatement. And the potential magnitude. Significant deficiencies may therefore exist even though auditor has not identified any misstatements. Even if you have given true and fair view, even if you have told everything is okay, can there still be significant deficiencies in the company? Yes, please remember this point, okay? That's it. Now come to next question. During the audit of a company, CA Jack obtained written representations from management regarding all the known instances of non-compliance with laws and regulations that should be considered in the preparation of financial statement. However, during the audit, he observed that information provided in this regard was incomplete and the audit evidence indicating that non-compliance contradicted the written representations, casting doubt on their reliability. So what has happened, dear students? It means management gave me some representation, but they gave me a wrong written representation. So what will happen? I will think that if they can give me this wrong representation, which means how many others are wrong? ये तो मुझे पकड़ा गया कि ये तो गलत था. This तो I found that this was wrong. But they have given me 10 other written representations. Now will I doubt the reliability of everything? Yes. Now I will be confused whether I can rely on anything or not. whether the management is reliable or not, whether any information given by management is reliable or not. So this becomes a more explanatory question. It's not a question where you have direct 1, 2, 3, 4 points. It's a question that becomes more about how do you explain the answer. Okay. So in the given situation, company's management has not provided complete information regarding instances of non-compliance. If the auditor has concerns about competence, integrity, and ethical values and diligence of management, or about its commitment to enforce these things, the auditor shall determine the effect that such concerns have on the reliability. So if in general, see in this general, if because of this you start doubting whether this management is competent, या तो उनको सही में लगता था सब कुछ सच है और सब कुछ सही है, but they didn't, or they knew that it was wrong and yet they gave me a wrong representation. So whether they are incompetent or whether they don't have integrity and ethics. So if I have doubt on this, I have to see how will this affect my whole audit. The above situation highlights that the auditor has obtained audit evidence regarding non-compliance with laws, which is inconsistent with written representation and is casting a doubt over reliability. As per SA 580, if written representations are inconsistent, the auditor shall perform additional audit procedures to attempt to resolve the matter, which means you can go and talk to management. Why did this contradiction happen? What was the reason? If they give you some reason, see if this reason is valid or enough. If it's not, what to do now? If the matter still remains unsolved, the auditor should reconsider the assessment of competence, integrity, and ethical values and diligence of management, or of its commitment to enforce these, and shall determine the effects that it can have on the reliability of presentations and audit evidence in general. If the auditor concludes that written representations are not reliable, the auditor shall take appropriate action and decide the impact on the opinion as per SA 705 with regard to disclaimer. Why? Because if you can't trust management, it means you can't trust the vouchers given by them. You can't trust any books given by them. You can't trust any agreements given by them. That means you are not even a position to give an opinion. Okay. So if you are not able to find any kind of, reason, you are not able to resolve the matter, you are not able to trust the management anymore, or you think that they are not competent or they are not ethical, and if you think that written representations are not reliable, then you can see whether I have to change my opinion because of that. So please remember this answer. A very good question. Okay. Next. Question 13. During the audit of a company, CA Atul noticed that the company is facing significant labor shortages, resulting in the hampering of operations of the company. The company's manufacturing is dependent upon skilled labor coming from villages in certain districts of eastern UP. However, due to job opportunities available near villages now, many are not interested in leaving their native villages. The company failed to keep its commitment due to the situation, consequently lost orders and faced decrease in its revenues. The fixed cost of the company remain at high level. As a result, the company is facing a liquidity crunch and is not able to pay its creditors on time. The bankers of the company also are not willing to help the company to tide over liquidity crisis. The auditor has concern over the going concern status of the company. How should the management of the company address auditors' concerns? What audit procedures may be performed in such a situation? So what will happen here? Which essay? Which essay? Very good, Pooja. Essay number 570, going concern. Do you think we have studied like this already? Do you think we have studied an answer like this already? Can you try to remember which answer this is? We have studied this answer already. Which answer is this? Just the question has changed, but the answer is same. Question is looking like a case study, but what is the answer? Can anyone give me one small hint? One or two keywords. Let's see if you can remember. Just we have revised 1 hour back. 1 घंटा पहले revise किया है. I'll wait for a minute. Let's see. Who can tell which answer is this? Very good, Julie. The cash flow forecast answer. Very, very good. I'm very happy. So, am I pronouncing your name correct, Julie? Is it Julie only? Julie Kumari? Okay. Okay, good. So what is the answer? We have already studied it. Significant shortage, inability to pay creditors, overall liquidity crisis. It can cast significant doubt on entity's ability to do as going concern. Management should try to address auditors' concern by preparing its future plan of action, by preparation of cash flow forecast. Such cash flow forecast should address auditors' concern regarding liquidity. The auditor should perform audit procedures to evaluate reliability of data to prepare the forecast and determining adequate support for the assumptions underlying the forecast. The auditor should also consider whether any additional information has become available since the management made its assessment. Same answer, even if you write in the other way. We studied now. I think answer number 2 itself it was. Yeah. So even if you write it this way, it's completely okay. You can write it this way also. Same answer only. Just presentation has changed. So same answer. Okay. So this is quickly done. This is finished. Question number 13. Let's go on next question. Question number 14. Now at this, no, you can write the whole answer. They wrote about cash flow only because they are saying how should management help auditor? Okay. So management can prepare cash flow. It has also mentioned future plan. See, future action plan. Then what will auditor do about it? Auditor will check the reliability. They can check the feasibility. They can check assumptions. They can check additional facts. So it is exactly the same answer. It's just written in a paragraph manner. But Asta, you can write the whole answer as it is. Is that clear? Why have they broken it down and written like this? Because it is not saying what will auditor do. Because in that question, what was the question? What are the additional audit procedures? Do you remember? In question number 2, what did they say? What are the additional audit procedures to be performed? Yes or no? तो आपने सिर्फ ये लिख दिया कि ऑडिटर क्या क्या करेगा, है ना? But in this question, Astha, what are they asking? How can management help? So it is the same answer only. But because in this question, it is asked in a different way that how can management help? So management cannot help by the whole audit procedures, right? Management can help by preparing future plan of action, all this. And then auditor can help by checking reliability. That is why they broke it down, the same answer, they broke it down to help write in the way the question is asking. Now, do you understand, Astha? तो हमने सेम आंसर को ऐसे ब्रेक डाउन कर दिया कि मैनेजमेंट इसमें क्या करेगी और ऑडिटर इसमें क्या करेगा. इज दैट क्लियर? ओके. इज एवरीवन एल्स आल्सो क्लियर? Answer is same, just the presentation has broken down into 2 parts. Question number 14. As per SA 560, when after the date of auditor's report, but before the date the financial statements are issued, okay, after the audit report, before financial statements are issued, a fact becomes known to the auditor. कुछ नया पता चला है. A fact becomes known that had it been known to the auditor at the date of auditor's report. So it is after. It may have caused the auditor to amend the audit report. So let's say I have given audit report on 15/9/2025 and I come to know about something on 17/9/2005 and it is related to 1/6/2025. Okay. So audit report was issued on this date. This I came to know something, a fact becomes known, and it is a fact that was related to period between balance sheet date and audit report. So अगर ये मुझे पहले पता होता, if I would have known this, it would have affected the audit report I gave on 15/9. In this context, what is meant by the date the financial statements are issued? Can it be later than the date of providing audit report to the entity? First, tell me, can financial statements be issued after the date of audit report? Can financial statements be issued after the date of audit report? Yes. So if financial statement, yes, Asta, it can be. So if I have issued audit report on 1st September, Asta, and then AGM is called on 20th September. So on that date, if the financial statements are issued, then it's completely okay. So usually the financial statements are issued on same date or after it. It cannot be before audit report. So it can be on or after. Just remember, okay? So date of financial statement issued means the date on which audit report and audited financial statements are made available to third parties. The date of financial statements is dependent on regulatory environment. Very good. Pooja wrote this point. The date of issue of financial statement can be as per rules and regulations or AFRF. Very good, Pooja. Pooja gave this point very early. In some circumstances, the date the financial statements are issued may be date that they are filed with the regulatory authority. So in case of companies, you have to form AOC4 and all. You have to fill up these forms and submit to the ROC. Since audited financial statements cannot be issued without an audit report, the date that the financial statements are issued must be not be at or later than the date of audit report, but must be at or later than the date of audited report is provided to the entity. Therefore, the date of financial statements can be later than the date of audit report. Okay? Simple. Next. Question number 15. सब मेरे साथ है? Is everyone with me? Still? Okay. Good. Question 15. Stay Fit Private Limited is a startup that has been in business for about 22 years. 2 years. It runs an application which provides valuable information pertaining to nutrition and helps its clients to access customized healthy food. Okay, very good. The company's revenues are expected to grow in the coming period. Although the company has reflected net losses in its financial statement for the last 2 years, it has managed to meet all its financial commitments. The financial statements for the last 2 years were prepared on going concern basis of accounting. The management of the company wants to follow the same basis for accounting. Is the view of the management appropriate? How does the going concern affect? Firstly, tell me this. Just because a company is in loss, does it mean that they will close and they will shut down? Just because a company is in loss for 1 or 2 years, does it mean it will shut down? If they have a lot of investment to burn and to grow their company, even after 5 years of loss, they can still be very strong. Yes or no? Many startups are in that phase. Yes or no? So if the company is in loss for 2 years, but still it's able to meet all its financial commitments, does it mean that there is significant doubt on the uncertainty of going concern? Do you think there is any doubt on the going concern ability? No. So can the company follow the same accounting treatment that they were following last year? Absolutely. So here, this is a explanatory based question. Okay. As usual, you will identify the essay number. Going concern is one of the fundamental accounting assumptions. The enterprise is normally viewed as going concern, that is continuing the operation for foreseeable future. It is assumed that the enterprise has neither the intention or necessity to liquidate the scale of operations. Under the going concern assumption, the financial statements are prepared as a going concern and will continue its operation. ये same ही है. General purpose financial statements are prepared using going concern of accounting unless management has intention to liquidate or has no alternative to do so. So this is quite repeated. In the given question, company has reflected net losses in financial statement of last 2 years, but is able to meet the financial commitment, signifying its ability to continue the business. The revenue is also expected to grow. It shows that the management has neither the intention nor the necessity to liquidate or curtailing materially the scale of operations. Therefore, the view of the management for following going concern is appropriate. Now, this kind of question, you have to be good with writing and drafting and the language. See, ye line book mein hai. This line is there in the book. Okay. That going concern means neither I have the intention nor the necessity to reduce my operations or close the company. Okay. This same two words they have used to justify that why in this case ना तो intention है. Why is there no intention? They are fulfilling all their abilities. The company is expected to grow. So that is why there is no intention or necessity. And hence, they can continue as going concern. So if you knew these two words, these two keywords, you will be able to write this answer. Okay. So we are done with question number 15. Okay. Next. Yeah, this also you can continue. Further, this is just completion only. Significance of going concern is due to its effect on preparation, ability or otherwise to be viewed when the use of the going concern basis of accounting is appropriate. Assets and liabilities are recorded on the basis that entity will be able to realize its assets and discharge its liability. When an enterprise is not viewed as going concern, the financial statements are prepared on liquidation basis. For example, assets may need to be written down as these may be sold at lower price. Assets may be recorded as likely price. So this is just extra information. So main part is still here. Okay. Come on, question number 16 now. Question number 16. CA Rashmi is the auditor of ABC Limited for the financial year ending 31/3/2024. The audit report for the year was signed by her on 19/4/2024. Okay. On 25/4/2024, the company received a communication from central government that an incentive amount of rupees 5 crore pertaining to financial year 2023-24 was approved. It was paid to the company before the end of April 2024. The financial statements of the company were not yet issued to the shareholders. The board of directors wished to include the incentive amount in the financial statements and requested the auditor to issue a fresh report for the year ended 31/3/2024. Now, this is a very interesting question. Before I tell you answer, I will give an opportunity if someone wants to talk. If someone wants to tell me, what do you think will happen in this case? Does anyone want to try? As an auditor, what do you think you will do? Does anyone want to give it a try? It's okay. Even if it's wrong, what's the problem? No problem. No one? Kuldeep, would you like to say? You are sending me auditor should approve and all. Would you like to try? Speak. Which answer? So you all have do you all of you have book in your book with you? Do all of you have book in front of you? First tell me that. Keep that book open. Keep this chapter open and tell me from your book. Read it. It's an open book. Even if it's on an open book, tell me which answer would come. Yes, Kuldeep. You raise your hand. So you can tell from the book, Kuldeep, that which answer would it be. Even if it's open, let me see if you can identify what is the answer to be written. Yes, Kuldeep. I unmuted, I think. I think Kuldeep raised his hand by mistake. Yes, Kuldeep, you are not on mute now. You can speak. No, I think the volume is not coming. I've unmuted. It's showing unmuted, but I can't hear you, Kuldeep. Okay, not a problem. Anyone else would like to give a try? मैं ही बोल दूं question? मैं ही बोल दूं answer? Yes, Julie. Yes.
Hello, ma'am. Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening. You can keep the book in your
Yeah.
hand and tell me which answer will it be.
Okay. This given case is related with the subsequent events. They
Yes.
say five, 560.
Correct.
Okay. In this, the incentive amount is pertaining to the financial year in which the auditor has issued the report. But before issuing the report to the shareholders, third parties, the matters come in front of the auditor. So auditor can include these matters in their report and issue a fresh report on a new date. And even he can issue emphasis of matter paragraph in the previous report um, and may include a new date on that report and then issue
Correct.
to the shareholders.
Yes. So should I directly issue the report, Julie, with the new thing, or should I first ask management to do something?
No,
What should I ask management to do?
first we ask the management whether these matters affect the financial statement, and if management agrees, and then according to the management communication, he can rewrite the report.
Very good. So we will ask the management. We will first see whether any amendment is needed. If amendment is needed, whether first they are doing the amendment. Then after they do the amendment, we will check that amendment, whether they have done the amendment correctly. If it was supposed to be a disclosure, they have shown as disclosure. If it was supposed to be an adjustment, they have shown as an adjustment. And then we can issue the fresh audit report. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. So in your book, very good, Julie. So in your book, you will directly find it under the head that facts which become known to auditor after the date of auditor's report, but before the date the financial statements were issued. Can you find that topic in your book? Can you find that exact topic in your book? Yes. So that is what the question is. So in this, you have to first explain essay, then mention the case and what to do. Okay, mention the case. So what will we do? Facts which become known to the auditor after the date of auditor's report, but before the date the financial statements are issued. So as per 560, the auditor has no obligation to perform any audit procedures regarding financial statements after the date of audit report. But when after the date of audit report, but before the date of financial statements are issued, a fact becomes known to the auditor that had it been known at the date of audit report, it may have caused the auditor to amend audit report. The auditor shall discuss with management, see if financial statements need to be amended, and inquire how the management wishes to address the matter, whether they will do a adjustment, whether they'll do a disclosure. If the management amends the financial statement, the auditor shall carry out audit procedures necessary. Further, the auditor shall extend the audit procedures and provide a new audit report on the amended financial statement. However, new audit report cannot be dated earlier than the date of approval of amended financial statements. In the instant case, ABC Limited received an amount of rupees 5 crore on account of incentives pertaining to 2023-24 in the month of April after finalization of financial statements and signing, but before the issue of financial statements. The board of directors of ABC wished to amend the financial statements and requested CA Rashmi to consider this event and issue a fresh audit report. After applying the procedures and conditions, CA Rashmi can issue new audit report subject to date of audit report, which should not be earlier than the date of approval of new and amended financial statement. Easy and clear, everyone? So quite easy. You just have to mention it looks like an answer as if you have to write on your own, but it is there in the book and it is very, very clear in the book. Okay. Next. Next question number 17. During the audit of a company, CA Karthik has noticed that company's turnover has fallen drastically as compared to last 3 years due to loss of its major markets and key customers. The company is in need of funds for new product development, but bankers are not willing to lend financial support. Which additional procedures need to be conducted when such events are identified? Which answer is this? Now again tell me which answer is this. Do you think we have done this answer? First tell me, do you think we have done this answer already? Do you think we have done this answer? Tell me quickly. Yes, ma'am. Oh, good. Which answer is this? Again, see how many ways the same question can be asked. Same. Not yet done the assessment. Ask them to do the assessment. Future plan of action, cash flow forecast, under data, reliability of data, assumptions, additional facts, written representations. See how important this question is. अब तो याद हो ही गया होगा. Hopefully in this class you must have started to learn this answer now. Okay. We'll go to the next one. Question number 18. Let's go on question number 18 now. Projects India Limited, PIL, is engaged in manufacturing and trading of disposable glasses and plates used in social gatherings and functions. Okay. XYZ and Company Chartered Accountants is the statutory auditor of PIL Limited for financial year 23-24. Analytical procedures carried out by the audit team, headed by CAZ, indicates that the company's business is going downward and PIL could achieve only 50% of the total revenue of 22-23. Management has not taken any steps to increase the revenue or add new products or customers to stabilize revenue and profitability. Before finalizing the audit report, audit in charge asked for a cash flow forecast from manager for 12 months. Keeping in view, what can be the likely purpose of CAZ in the above situation? What does it mean? Now, this is a new answer. It looks like it's the same one, but do you know it's a little bit of a new answer? Little bit old, little bit new. What are the 2 points? What can be the likely purpose of CAZ in the above situation? State any 2 audit procedures in relation to cash flow forecast. This answer is easy. Audit procedure to check reliability of data. Same thing. And you have to check assumptions. This is easy. This we have done 3-4 times. But what is the likely purpose of CAZ in the above situation? What does it mean? In the given situation, CAZ indicated that company's business is going down. Revenue is 50%. No steps are being taken by management. Accordingly, the auditor in charge asked for cash flow forecast for 12 months. Thus, the likely purpose of the CAZ is the following: to obtain sufficient information regarding and conclude on the appropriateness of management's use of going concern accounting. To conclude, based on audit evidence obtained, whether a material uncertainty exists or not, and to report in accordance with SA 570. Can you tell me what actually you are checking? See in your book what topic this answer is given. Book में देखो किस topic में ये 3 point दिए हुए हैं. Objective. So what was this question asking? What is the purpose of CAZ in doing all this? So what was the question asking for? You have to write down objective. But was the word objective written in the question? Question में objective word कहीं लिखा था? नहीं. This is the example that you might know the answer, but you did not know that इस question में वो answer लिखना था. This is a perfect, very good example of that. So this is very straightforward. ये आपने 4 बार कर लिया, अब आपको आता है. बट क्या आप इसको पढ़ के ये समझ पाए कि आपसे ऑब्जेक्टिव पूछा जा रहा है? So what is the purpose of SA 570? Why is he doing all this? To obtain sufficient appropriate evidence regarding and conclude appropriateness of management's use of going concern. To conclude, based on audit evidence obtained, whether a material uncertainty exists, and to report as per SA 570. Okay. So this is a very, very good question. So the purpose of doing this revision with you is not just to repeat the theory that you have already studied, but to study that theory through question and answer so that you know and learn the application of that theory. हम सिर्फ theory revise करेंगे तो आप application कैसे सीखोगे, है ना? How will you learn application? So we have to study the theory, but when you are in this phase of revision, you must also practice it with questions. Okay. Next. So this second part though is easy. Reliability, assumptions. Second part you will get. But the first part in exam, you had to write objective. Okay. Let's go on next. Question 19. SRP Limited appointed Messrs. JK and Company as its statutory auditors. Auditors, while carrying out the audit, observe that company has entered into a complex transaction having material effect on the financial statements. In order to have realistic information on the said transaction relevant to audit team has decided to take assistance from those charged with governance. Two of the team members are discussing who can be TCWG, but they can't get a fair idea of the same. Can you guide them? Who can be TCWG? Can anyone tell me? Who can be TCWG? Write one point of what you can think. आप किसी को समझाओगे कि TCWG कौन होता है, तो आप क्या समझाओगे उन्हें? This will be our last answer. तो थोड़ा डिस्कशन करते हैं. Tell me. Even if it take 2 minutes, if you can write, I'll wait for you to write in the chat box. So take a minute and write it down. Who controls and who decides? Okay, Kuldeep has written 1 point. What else? Who controls and decides? They are the TCWG. Okay. What else? This is a little tricky question. Okay. ये थोड़ा understanding से लिखना है. People who are involved in policy making. Okay. Who else? So this is a little unique question. Astha has mentioned, depending upon entity to entity, it can be part of executive function, legal structure, or governance can be different from executive function. Good. Who gives strategic direction to the company? Good. But can only companies have TCWG? Different kind of entities can have. The one who sees oversees financial reporting is a TCWG. Good. Trustee in a school can be a TCWG. Good. Okay. So now that you have given examples, just see how to write it properly. Okay. No one's answer was wrong. Who are TCWG? The person or an organization, example, a corporate trustee, with responsibility for overseeing the strategic direction of the entity and obligations relating to accountability. This includes overseeing the financial reporting process. This you wrote. Who wrote this point? Astha, I think. Sabrinath also wrote. Astha also wrote. Good. Okay. So this point you have written. For some entities, TCWG may include management personnel, for example, executive members of a governance board of a public or private entity or an owner manager. Governance structure may vary by entities, reflecting influences such as different cultural and legal backgrounds, size and ownership. For example, in some entities, a supervisory board exists that is separate from executive board. In other entities, both supervisory and executive functions are performed by a single board. Supervisory means someone who only oversees. Executive means someone who is doing day-to-day work. In some entities, TCWG, those charged with governance hold positions that are integral part of entity's legal structure. For example, directors in a company. In some cases, some or all of TCWG are involved in managing the entity. In others, TCWG and management are completely different people. In most entities, governance is collective responsibility of a governing body like a board of directors, a supervisory board, partners, proprietors, committee of managing, trustees, equivalent people. So is there a fixed name? ऐसा कुछ fixed है कि सिर्फ board of director ही TCWG होते हैं? नहीं. ट्रस्ट में ट्रस्टी TCWG हो सकते हैं, एसोसिएशन में मैनेजिंग कमिटी TCWG हो सकती है, पार्टनरशिप फर्म में पार्टनर्स TCWG हो सकते हैं. यस और नो? सो देयर आर डिफरेंट नेम्स as per the governance structure. As per the governance structure of any entity, you have to choose who can be your TCWG. In small entities, one person may be charged with governance and there might be no other owner. So there can be only a single person who is both manager and trustee. Such diversity means it is not possible to specify all audits the persons with whom the auditor to communicate particular matters. Also, in some cases, the appropriate persons with whom to communicate may not be clearly identifiable. Is it possible that in all situations you will find separate TCWG? Quickly tell me. Is it possible that in all kind of audits, NGO audit, business audit, everywhere you will find TCWG? क्या जरूरी है आपको हर जगह TCWG सेपरेट मिलेंगे, अलग से लोग मिलेंगे? No. Sometimes management themselves are TCWG. So entities where governance structure is not formally defined, like family-owned entities and NGO, it is possible that TCWG are part of management. So in such cases, auditor may need to discuss and agree with the engaging party the relevant persons with whom to communicate. In deciding with whom to communicate, the auditor's understanding of entity's governance structure and processes is important. The appropriate person with whom to communicate may vary depending on the matter to be communicated. So who takes the decision that who is TCWG? क्या आप किसी कंपनी में जाओगे और बोलोगे आपकी TCWG कौन है वो मुझे बताइए, ऐसा कोई पोजीशन होता है कंपनी में? If you go to a company and just ask, tell me who is your TCWG, give me the names. Will company understand what you are saying? Will the entity understand? Will your client understand? No. Because you can just ask them questions and accordingly you can know that this person is TCWG. So as an auditor, as per the circumstance, you need to understand who is managing, who is overseeing, who is doing the executive work day-to-day basis, who is doing the governance work. And in a trust, it can be a trustee. In a partnership firm, it can be a few partners. Some can be sleeping partners, some can be active partners. By gathering this information, the auditor can take a decision that who is TCWG. Is everyone clear? Is everyone clear? Okay. We'll do one last question. That is the last question. My PPT is also over, okay? We'll do one last question. CA Keshav has been reappointed as auditor of PKT Limited. In order to reconfirm certain matters, he has requested the management to provide written representation. Under what circumstances can an auditor request the management to reconfirm its acknowledgement and understanding of responsibilities? Have we studied this answer? First tell me. Have we studied this answer already? In which situations can you ask the management to give it again? If the management has changed, if there was some misunderstanding, if there were changes in any circumstances. Do you remember? If terms of engagement were from previous year, so you had 4 points, same 4 points. As per SA 580, written representation requiring fulfillment of management responsibility in relation to above, draw on the agreed acknowledgement and understanding of management of its responsibilities, etc., etc. The Auditor may also ask management of PKT to reconfirm its acknowledgement and understanding of those responsibilities. This is particularly appropriate when those who signed the terms of audit engagement are no longer having same responsibilities. The terms of audit engagement were prepared in last year. There's an indication that management misunderstands and there is change in circumstances. Finished, same answer. That's it. So I think we have revised these 6 essays from all the directions and all the possibilities and all the ways that we could revise. I have given you examples of multiple varieties of different ways the questions can come and how you have to approach them. If you have any doubt, I'll stay here. I hope you have revised this chapter with me. You have spoken along with me. You have paid attention and it will benefit you immensely. So if you have any questions, we'll wait for next 1 or 2 minutes. Otherwise, we can end the session now. Anyone, any question? Okay. I don't think anyone has any question. So we can end the class now. Yes, students, no other questions, right? Ma'am, this PDF will be uploaded, right? Yes. Anything else? Okay, I hope you enjoyed the class. We'll see you for the next chapter. Ashokji, we can end the class now. Yes. Done. Thank you. Good night.